should be obvious, but I feel like I need to say it. Some of you who are just now respecting Indians because you find some of them attractive is crazy behavior. It is crazy to only think you need to respect people that you would want to, right? Everyone deserves respect, and it is insane. And like, to think that a whole race, 1 point however many billion people, that all of them are ugly is also just like such an ignorance. It's insane. But oh god, we need to stop treating beauty as a moral success, or like a lack of beauty perceived by some as a moral failure.
But it's on a white girl with straight hair, clear skin. It's pretty?
Right.
Wait, what about when I did it 8 years ago? Oh, I got made fun of for it. We were called smelly. We were told to wash our hair because there was too much oil in it. So it only upsets me because it was a point of insecurity for a lot of us girls at one point, because we were ridiculed for it.
Absolutely.
But all of a sudden, it's now the next TikTok For You page trending thing.
I was definitely aware that racism towards Indian people is weirdly acceptable and normalized in our society, and like I feel like everyone's witnessed it at some point or another, even if they didn't realize it was racist at the time, because it is so normalized.
Representation in media is often exaggerated, whitewashed, or inaccurate, privileging South Asian women who conform to Eurocentric standards. A perfect example of this is Aishwarya Rai. So she was a L'Oreal ambassador and Bollywood actor. But she had more westernized features, having lighter skin and blue eyes, which really wasn't relatable to and representative of this everyday South Asian woman who was darker skin and varied facial features. And despite Indians holding the most Miss World titles, South Asians are still not widely considered beautiful in mainstream Western media. And what's really interesting is that Oriental art really sexualized Indian women, but today we are constantly still ridiculed.
Indian people can't be attractive. At least that's what the internet has been saying, even more so now as of recent. And I'm not going to lie. Even if you know it's racist, even if you know it's not true, hearing that over and over again does something to you, and it is not okay. This video is about unpacking why Indian beauty is treated like it doesn't exist, while Indian culture is being stolen, repackaged, and sold back to the world as minimalist and aesthetic. Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to every single one of you who showed up for the previous video. The support has been insane, and I genuinely still can't believe it. How I went from 3 subscribers to this many supporters feels so surreal. I'm so entirely grateful for every single one of you. So thank you for subscribing, liking, giving feedback, watching, just anything. Honestly, I never imagined this at any level. So thank you so much. This video is truly sponsored by all of your support, because that's what's giving me the motivation to keep going and improving. Before we go any further, we need to talk about one of the biggest beauty standards that have not only shaped Indian communities, it almost shaped everyone's. The fairer you are, the prettier you are. This idea didn't just fall out of the sky one day. It has layers: cultural, historical, and unfortunately colonial. For centuries, the world has been told that the ideal woman looks a very specific way. Fair skin, light eyes, small nose, delicate features, straight blonde hair. And this was not just a media influence.
Wish I was like you, blue-eyed blondie, perfect body. Maybe I should try harder.
This was the direct result of colonization, Western dominance in film and fashion, and Eurocentric features being marketed as a global default. The beauty industry built an entire $1 trillion empire on this. Hollywood exported it worldwide through magazines, TV, pageants, ads, all pushing the same agenda. The same face, the same skin tone, and the same narrow definition of beauty.
The history of skin lightening here in the United States, it actually begins with white women. White women here would use skin lightening products because they were trying to emulate beauty standards and beauty practices that were circulating in Europe. And then around the Jim Crow era, what we see is skin lightening products being used and sold and circulated within the African American community. Black women would use this partly because it would be a survival strategy, essentially. The lighter your skin was, the more access to resources you would have.
Then what did Bollywood do? It took that message and ran with it.
ये क्या किया तुमने? तुमने कभी बच्चे को मार ही डाला था? इतना भयानक बच्चा?
Lighter-skinned actresses in every lead role, fairness creams advertised as confidence, songs literally about being fair-skinned. Directors refusing to cast darker actresses unless they're playing villagers, maids, or comic reliefs.
So if somebody's a great actor, but they have a dark complexion, will you hire them?
Yes, we hire them only if the client says we need a dark complexion. What the clients has tell us, we need a fair complexion. Girl is very beautiful, she's very good looking, and the guy is very good looking, very beautiful. He is a perfect choice because again, he is a fair skin, so he comes in upmarket. Okay. I will cast this one.
So Indian beauty on a global scale was filtered through this very narrow Eurocentric lens. And when one standard becomes the standard, everyone else ends up comparing themselves to it, even subconsciously. This affected Black communities, East Asian communities, Middle Eastern, Latin American, Indigenous, and South Asian. Basically every person of color in one way or another. Skin tone beauty standards is such a big topic and it really deserves a dedicated video. Shout out to this comment from my first video for bringing it up. It's actually something I'd love to dive into next. If you guys are interested, let me know and I'll make it happen. And speaking of TV and film, let's talk about how truly deep this goes. Because honestly, Indian beauty standards are already brutal within Indian communities themselves. Fair and Lovely and all other skin brightening creams have played a major role in this mindset. So for those of you who don't know what Fair and Lovely is,
I asked my mom, is this what people in India look like when they put on Fair and Lovely? So she's going to educate us on what Fair and Lovely is if you don't know what it is.
Fair and Lovely is a skin whitening cream in India. And no, I have never used it. Sad, I have family members that have. They were made to feel that they didn't look as pretty as the light-skinned Indians. Horrible. They just, like a cream, like how you put sunscreen on, how you have sunscreen on right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Do you wipe it off? Like, what is it?
They wash it off the next day. They would put it on.
Does it actually work?
No.
And the thing is, Fair and Lovely wasn't just some random cream. It was the beauty product pushed into generations. This stuff was everywhere. Every commercial break, every magazine, every Bollywood celebrity endorsement. And
Mama! Is that really? Samira! Hi! Welcome! You know you've become really beautiful. Your face is fairer, glowing. It must be marriage.
Don't you believe that? For 2 months, I've been using Fair and Lovely. It lightens the color of the skin in a natural and gentle way.
Really?
And also protects the skin from the sun. Listen to your elder sister and try it.
Perfect. So I'll make a beautiful bride like you.
Fair and Lovely makes you noticeably fairer, gently, safely.
And the message is always the same. Your life will get better if you become lighter, you'll be prettier, and more importantly, you'll be loved and appreciated by the world. They literally ran ads where dark-skinned women were sad, rejected, unsuccessful, and then they used Fair and Lovely, became lighter, and suddenly they got the job, the boyfriend, and they glowed up. Like the delusion.
The scripts used to be standard and very weird. Like it was always about, you can't get a job unless you're fair.
Yeah.
You can't get married unless you're fair.
It told millions of young girls and boys that their natural skin tone was a problem to fix And when something is marketed from childhood, it becomes internalized without even noticing. And the craziest part of all of this is Fair and Lovely didn't just disappear. They literally had to rebrand themselves in 2020. Yes, that recently. Unilever got dragged so hard for pushing colorism, they renamed it from Fair and Lovely to Glow and Lovely. And it removed words like fair, white, and light from packing. Cute. 50 years late, but love that from them, I guess. Like, changing the name doesn't undo the decades of ads telling dark-skinned individuals they'd only be successful, loved, or confident if they became lighter. You can't just whack glow on the box and pretend the damage doesn't still shine. It's still the same product, the same formula, the same message, but with a PR lift. A rebrand does not fix a generational insecurity. And we've seen the same narrative pushed globally.
In many parts of the world, lighter skin is considered to be more beautiful than darker skin. It's a beauty standard that's been around for hundreds of years. Lighter skin has been associated with power and privilege, and the beauty industry has been profiting, selling skin lightening creams and soaps which are popular across Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. By 2027, the global market for skin lighteners is estimated to reach over $12 billion.
He's Colombian and he has curly hair. He's always down to do whatever, and I really like that.
Too pretty to be Indian. Now let's talk about the moment that really exposed how people view Indian beauty. On TikTok, some of the top comments were actually nice, at least the last time I checked. And for once you think, wow, a breath of fresh air. But then you make the mistake of checking Twitter and the energy switches completely. And then this. She can't be Indian, she must be mixed. Let me say one thing clearly. This is not a compliment. What you're truly saying is she's too pretty to be Indian and that someone who's fully Indian cannot be attractive, and what she's quote unquote mixed with is what makes her stand out. And the stupidest part about this is that these comments are not coming from outsiders. Half of these comments are coming from Indians themselves.
What is one ethnicity you would not date?
My own ethnicity, Indian.
Why?
The low-key chop.
Huh? They're chopped?
Yeah. And they smell bad. Some of them. I can see that it's friendly fire, so I can see that.
People who come from the same culture, same background, because at this point the colonization is self-operating, let alone those of other ethnicities coming into the picture. But there is one common denominator here. People act as though Indians only come in one shade, one nose, one hair texture, as if 1.4 billion people share one face. India is not one look, not even close. People love to say, "You don't look Indian," which is funny because what does this exactly mean? India is one of the most genetically diverse places on the entire planet. There is no one single Indian face. But because mainstream media only shows one version of Indian beauty, people genuinely think they can identify an entire ethnicity from one person's features. Indians are a trend. Okay, this is the part that kills me. Why are Indian people trending like a seasonal aesthetic? Last year, it was the Great Shift.
Let's talk about the Great Indian Shift. This hashtag, the Great Indian Shift, where people are finally recognizing that Indians are finally attractive, not ugly, and not the least desirable, which we were always called. I've seen a lot of South Asians play into this. I get it that you're finally happy about getting recognized, but recognized by who? People who were racist to us before? Does not matter, because the opinions of our colonizers and oppressors regarding how we look based on their narrow beauty standards are irrelevant. It's you're too pretty for an Indian, but in a different font. I get it, if you went to a predominantly white school, you're conditioned to seek approval, but it's important to connect with your own community and educate yourself. It's not actual appreciation anyway, it's just we're getting fetishized. There is no great shift. We've always been beautiful and no need to enable all these hashtags and backhanded compliments. Love yourself.
which was basically people saying Indian features suddenly looked ethereal as if they discovered a new Pokemon drop. This year, it's Shrika, going viral for existing? Every few months, the internet acts like they've just unlocked a secret level of Indian. And while Indian people keep becoming trends, the most ironic part is Indian culture is trending even harder, but Indians themselves are still excluded from it. Brands, influencers, fashion, they all love the aesthetic, but the second an actual Indian person shows up, suddenly everyone forgets the cultural roots and goes back to the stereotypes. Rolling Loud India, the casual racism and stereotypes. The comments under this video, unprovoked and unnecessary. But this final comment tops it off, like thank you for the backhanded defense. And guys, keep this in mind. This is just a video of a nice landscape from a hotel, and somehow this triggered racism, classism, ignorance, and a whole lot of people revealing their internal biases.
The effect that people get when you tell them that something is Japanese or that something is from Japan and they automatically think that it's better, the opposite is true for when you tell them that something is Indian or in India. I saw a dude post his hotel view from the balcony and the comments are like, wow, this is such a beautiful place, it's so cool. He's like, oh yeah, I'm on India for Rolling Loud. And suddenly the comments were all like, oh, I can see the pollution in the air. What?
Like, isn't this just sad? People are pre-prepping for hate comments because they know the internet is going to lash out the second they mention India. That alone says everything about how Indians are treated online. This one actually annoyed me because why is a concert being in India suddenly a problem? It's literally just a location. Like, people go to festivals in the desert, in the middle of the forest. But the moment it's in India, everyone acting like it's a war zone. But you know what stuck out the most? A lot of the negative comments weren't even from white people. They were from other POCs.
This comment right here is the exact point I try to make in all of my videos. In this world, racism is not okay, unless it's to Indians. The dehumanization of us is actually so normalized at this point. It is genuinely like we are not even human.
Let's not lie to ourselves. People who are implying India has no food, no resources, no infrastructure, which is literally just old colonial stereotypes repackaged as memes.
I found that the American teenagers don't know much about the world. I've been writing to pen pals in America, and they've asked me the most strange questions, which really make me furious sometimes. And like they asked me, do you live on trees, or does the sun shine in...
So that's why you don't like your skin color, because at school kids tells you something about it? What they say?
My skin is ugly.
Your skin is ugly because your skin color is dark?
That's why I want new skin color. I want to be like the rest, like Marguerite. He has different skin colors. He has a little light skin color.
But you have other kids that has other skin. Everyone different, Angel. Don't hate yourself with that. You're beautiful.
Growing up, I saw exactly how that played out in real time. You could put an Indian girl in a room who is genuinely beautiful and somehow she would never be seen as the pretty one. Meanwhile, a white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes will have people falling at her feet. Indian features weren't just ignored, they were criticized harshly, picked apart for no reason, and growing up in a mostly white environment, yeah, that does something to your brain chemistry. You don't realize it at the time, but everyone becomes a victim of that conditioning. When the world refused to see you as attractive, specifically because of your skin tone, your features, your culture, Even when you are objectively attractive, it shapes you. It affects your confidence, your self-perception, the way you move through the world.
How many times was it the white girl? How many times was it the white girl that they chose? How many times did I want to be the white girl that they chose? Because then I realized I'm never going to be the white girl because I'm a brown girl. And they're never going to pick the brown girl because she's going to be the best friend. Or like just in general, the woman of color is going to be that quirky best friend and not the one that they choose. When really the best friend character was obviously always the cooler one. They were always.
And honestly, this isn't just an Indian thing. This happens to a lot of people of color, but that's a whole other conversation. On top of that, we have the stereotypes that are still persistent to this day. Indians stink. India is dirty. Indian food smells.
What's an ethnicity you wouldn't date? Indian. Hey, everyone says that. Yeah, well, it's just
unfortunate, that's the truth.
Yeah, not many people want to go there for a holiday destination either. It's a lot of shit.
Indians.
Indians.
Why? Why are we hating on the Indians?
Because they're just weird. Like, I just don't fuck with them.
Yeah, they move weird.
It's lazy racism if you ask me. People are reducing a country of 1.4 billion people to the worst stereotypes they have seen from one clip of a slum or a street vendor making food. And that alone tells you the superficiality the world is running on, and it's just sad. People are acting like India is the only country in the entire world who has poverty. But the truth is, every single country, city, place does. New York, London, LA, Cape Town. But for some reason, when it comes to India, poverty becomes the entire narrative. And let's not forget, India is a developing country, so a developing country is going to look like a developing country. And don't get me started, because India didn't just magically become a third world country. It was systemically drained by the British Empire for centuries, but that's a separate video. Indian culture is trending. The same dupattas used in lehengas, wrapped over your head at the temple, repurposed 100 different ways on suitcases, on shoulders, in sofas, everywhere.
Calling a dupatta, which is already one of the most iconic Indian pieces of clothing, a Scandinavian scarf, is already brainless. But the sentiments and comments I've seen under the videos of people trying to explain the significance of the history behind the dupatta is equally as stomach churning.
Like guys, this is not a Nordic fashion accessory, it is a South Asian cultural staple. But the moment it's worn by a white influencer in a beige outfit, it becomes Scandi chic. And I can't even get too mad because the delusion is kind of hilarious. It's cultural appropriation disguised as aesthetic minimalism. People want the culture, just not the people. And this video sums it up perfectly.
I don't personally think there's anything wrong with a non-Indian wearing Indian clothes. In fact, Indian people are known to be very hospitable and love to share, especially when it comes to our culture. But there's a difference between appreciating and appropriation. With girls coming out wearing dupattas and calling them Scandinavian, brands coming out with shararas and labeling them as something completely different. Our South Asian culture is becoming appropriate.
Henna or Mendi is another one. Being treated like a trendy, temporary tattoo these days, when in reality it has deep cultural and ceremonial meaning, especially in Indian weddings and festivals like Diwali. And please do not get me started on this whole Diwali is the Indian Christmas thing. How about we not compare a completely different religion, culture, and the history just to make it digestible for people who can't be bothered to learn what Diwali even is? A lot of us didn't grow up in environments where celebrating your culture felt safe, accepted, or encouraged. Identity is complicated. People reconnect with their roots in different ways and at different times, and that's okay. What I'm calling out here is the way brands, influencers, and the internet aestheticize Indian culture without including Indian people or respecting the meaning behind it.
One of the biggest reasons I was convinced for a very long time that I would only get married to someone of a different race, especially if they're white, was for my future kids. The thought of my kid having to face the allegations that he couldn't be attractive because he was brown, that he stank like curry and wasn't the brunette with brown eyes with the dark undertones that all the girls dreamt about, haunted me. And throughout my life, I met a surprising amount of mixed Indian people, and the general consensus for them was that they were super attractive and exotic. A stark contrast to the purebred Indian. They were even celebrated for having an Indian last name. So I was convinced that if I married and had a baby with a white girl, my kid would get the privilege of having fair skin and all the traditional European attractive features, and still have the ultimate flex of having an Indian last name. And I'm from the South. I'm shameless. I've been telling my mom since the 5th grade that I'm not going to marry within my race. But this specific time, she educated me.
Only wanting to date outside your own ethnicity is not exclusive to Indian men or women. You see the exact same conversations in Black, Arab, Latino, East Asian communities too. It's not something unique to the Indian community, it's a global pattern. Because when the entire world is conditioned to see whiteness as beauty, status, desirability, and social elevation, of course people internalize that. Of course it shows up in dating preferences. It's not an Indian issue, it's a colonization issue. But here's where I'm going to be real with you. It still does not excuse it. Because what do you mean you like anyone but your own ethnicity? That sounds like internalized self-hatred to me. And honestly, it is very sad. Because then it's not just other groups hating on you, you're hating on yourself too. Self-love is supposed to be the open door that breaks generational cycles, not the thing you shut because society convinced you your own people aren't enough. When you reject your own culture, your own features, your own people, you're not having a preference. You're participating in the same system that told everyone your people were at the bottom. And if you carry that mindset into the next generation, the cycle just continues. Indian people generally, they're chill, just like any other group you'll meet. Sometimes a little too chill. There's a fine line between minding your business and letting people say whatever they want because you don't want drama. And unfortunately, that silence can end up enabling the very stereotypes being pushed. Up until recently, I barely saw Indian people speaking out about any of this, at least not publicly or loudly. Shout out to the few Indian YouTubers that have used their platforms to speak out. It wasn't really until the whole discourse around the Great Shift, when people suddenly started calling Indian people attractive, that more voices began stepping forward. And there's another layer to this. Because Indian people have been undermined and dismissed for so long, when they do speak up, it's often not taken seriously. People assume it's not that deep, which stops real conversations from happening. Historically, there just weren't many prominent voices pushing back, calling things out, or challenging racist narratives, the way some other communities do. That's not because Indians don't care, it's because culturally the mindset has often been keep your head down, work hard, don't create conflict, just get on with life. But here's the thing, that mindset just doesn't work. Silence gets interpreted as agreement, and the internet loves filling a silence with stereotype. And I get it, different communities respond differently. Some are very outspoken, sometimes to the point where their identity becomes their entire online persona. Others avoid conflict entirely. Finding the middle ground where you stand up for yourself without making your entire identity revolve around trauma isn't easy. But that middle ground has just been missing for a long time. TikTok is genuinely the first time I've seen Indians come together as a community and say, no, you're not gonna disrespect us. And honestly, I love it because it's been long overdue. If you're Indian and watching this, I genuinely love to hear what your experiences have been like while you were growing up or even right now. And if this video reaches anyone who consciously or not has held negative views about Indian people, I hope it challenges those assumptions. My goal isn't to shame, but to inform, educate, and open up a conversation. If you've made it this far, genuinely thank you so much for staying with me. I wish you and all your loved ones a very happy holidays. Now, I really value your perspectives because they actually help shape what I talk about next. So if you're comfortable, I'd love for you to share your thoughts or experiences around skin tone and beauty standards in the comments. You can start with "in my opinion" or "IMO" if you want. I read them and they help me guide future conversations on this channel.